Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the SoCal Sports Dudes podcast. Jason Wen here. Today I want to talk a little bit about the Lakers and a little bit of news and notes from the NBA. So thank you guys for tuning in. Before we get started, please press like, subscribe, and provide comments in the comment section below so we can help grow this channel, continue to bring you guys content. So yeah, Lakers, man, lately been on a little bit of a rough patch again. Been a roller coaster ride for Laker fans this year. I had that ugly loss to the Clippers about a week ago. Bounced back with a win against San Antonio, and then come back and lose at Boston, a tough one there. Referees not helping out the cause. I hate to point the fingers or for it to come down to a call or allowing it to be in the hands of the referees at the end of the game, but they missed that one, man. That was brutal at the end of that game there. We were, playing, competing, playing hard, and looked like in position to take that win, go into the Garden and steal a victory, and did not get the call there at the end. LeBron, of course, driving to the paint, gets hacked on the arm and no call. And then, of course, goes to overtime, and we lose in overtime to the Celtics. So, yeah, that was brutal, man. LeBron, of course, great performance, 41 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists that day, but the end of the day, that all feels kind of empty. Having to take a loss in that game, we were that should have been ours, man. But hey, hopefully we can continue to just put it behind us and know that we're right there in each one of the games that we are losing, and come back and get back on track here. So tonight they played at Brooklyn, another loss, 104-121 to Kyrie and company. Of course, no LeBron, no AD for us, so that's kind of a tough battle to wage when we don't have our two-star players. Decent performances. Rui had 16 and 4. Thomas Bryant 18 and 9. Troy Brown 11 and 17 rebounds. That's career high for him on rebounds there. But Russ had 17, 8 rebounds, 10 assists. So near triple double there. But yeah, kind of empty stats, man. When you take a loss like that, it's just pretty bad. Of course, without our two top guys, hey, sometimes that can be, somewhat we could overcome, or we could understand not winning every game when our two key star players are out like that. Tomorrow we go to New York and play the Knicks, so hopefully we'll see LeBron and AD back in action there. LeBron, I think, likes playing at the Garden and putting on a show there for Knicks fans and New York fans there. Thursday we'll be at Indiana, and then we'll wind the trip up at New Orleans before heading home. Of course, LeBron getting closer and closer to the all-time scoring mark, so worth keeping an eye on that. So yeah, Lakers been competitive. Unfortunately, they're kind of still, sinking in the standings a little bit, and kind of slipping down into that bottom bracket there of the Western Conference standings. But with AD coming back, LeBron doing what he's doing, at this year, as incredible as it's been with his age and stuff, still him, AD together. You get Lonnie Walker now coming back from injury. Austin Reeves is expected to be coming back soon. We've been missing him, of course, his effort out there. We acquire, of course, Hachimura in the trade, and then you get contributions from, Thomas Bryant. Max Christie's done some good things there in, developing as a rookie. And then, of course, P-Bev's been playing pretty good, Russell Westbrook and, Gabriel off the bench, Troy Brown. So we're getting some, contributions from a few places there. But we'll have to see also if Rob Pelinka has a move up his sleeve here with the trade deadline coming. Of course, there's been whispers of maybe us finding a way to make a trade for moving on from Pat Beverly or including him in a trade. I don't know if that's what exactly that will net us, but worth keeping an eye on, because I think if we can find other ways to improve this roster, I'm all for it. Russell Westbrook still a possible trade chip, but hopefully without having to give up, all the first round picks that other teams seem to be wanting from us in order to take on his salary. But hey, man, now he only got half a season left with that expiring contract. So that thing's got to look pretty attractive. But even then, what is that going to net us in return? Worth asking that question and worth keeping an eye on. So we'll continue to monitor that as the trade deadline approaches here. So with that, the deadline, of course, trade deadline is the 9th of February. So that's coming up quick here. Looks like the Bucks have received permission from the Suns to meet with Jay Crowder. Of course, he's been inactive this year, but a key contributor for the Suns the past couple of years. But it looks like now the Suns are kind of engaged in talks to maybe find a new home for him. These teams have been, as I mentioned, in talks. They may be trying to get a third team involved to maybe sweeten the package there to get more return over to the Suns in a trade for Crowder. I understand their asking price was a little bit high this whole year. It's like, Crowder is a kind of an aging veteran, still a solid contributor, but not a star or worth some of the price that some of these guys think, or that the Suns may think that Crowder's worth. I don't know. Let's see what it ends up looking like if this deal finally does take place, what ends up in whose hands and who gets what in the trade. The Hornets, of course, looking like sellers at the deadline. They got Plumlee, Oubre Jr., Jalen McDaniels. You got Rozier. You got maybe P.J. Washington, maybe Hayward, all available in trades. What teams get involved in that? What are they going to get back in return? We'll have to see. It looks like a team, they're kind of at the bottom of the standings there, so maybe it makes more sense for them to just kind of get in the Wembanyama sweepstakes there. Of course, the Mavs now look like they may be willing to consider dealing Finney Smith or Tim Hardaway Jr. Of course, they're going to look to get more help for Luka there, but solid role players there, Finney Smith and Hardaway, who've helped their team in their little playoff run last year. It was actually Hardaway's hurt last year, but that was two guys that may net them something in return. A guy like Hardaway, a good shooter who I'm sure a lot of teams would like to have on their roster. And Finney Smith, kind of a 3-and-D type, so should have some value out there. But what exactly are the Mavs expecting to get back for that? I don't know. They look to me like they could use another star player to go with Luka. It seems like a lot falls on his shoulders, but we'll see. They're continuing to hang in there and kind of keep their heads above the waterline there in the playoff race in the West. But I think they can use some help there and some reinforcements to help Luka. But we'll see how that turns out. Others, of course, who may be dealt or worth keeping an eye on. Minnesota with D'Angelo Russell, gifted offensive player. Does Minnesota move on from him? New York, of course, they've always been talking about moving Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier. You got Cam Reddish. A couple of quickly, I don't know if there's a couple of other guys that are Grimes that might be moved at the trade deadline, depending on what they get back. Atlanta, John Collins, maybe Trae Young. I don't know about that, but is there some animosity there in that organization? And maybe do they find homes for some of those players? Toronto with OG Anunoby. Even I've heard Siakam too, but I don't know if it's realistic to think that they'd trade all of them. Van Vliet, Gary Trent. You got Houston with Eric Gordon. You got San Antonio with McDermott, Podol, and Richardson. Of course, Crowder with the Suns. Mike Conley with the Jazz. There are a lot of names out there. Chicago maybe with Levine and Caruso. Are those guys going to get traded at the deadline? Buddy Hield from Indy. Karis LeVert from Cleveland. So going to be interesting to see who is moved and what pieces go where. I'm always interested and fascinated with trade deadlines and player movements and stuff. So we'll continue to monitor it and keep you guys posted on it. One more thing, Miles Turner signed an extension with the Pacers, so he's going to be staying there. Looks like anyway for a 2-year, $60 million deal, averaging 17.5, just under 8 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, shooting 39% from 3 for a big man. So that's some solid numbers there. He of course, big thing with him is health. He finally is staying healthy, and you're starting to see the production there on the court for him. So, of course, my primary interest is the Lakers with the trade deadline. Who are they going to be able to acquire? What moves are they going to be able to make? But I really like seeing player movement all around the league. So I'll continue to keep both eyes open on that and come at you guys with a new video when some of these trades start to go down. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. All right.